Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. I don't like restarting, re-preemptive like videos. Like it'll take a really bad intro, mess up, and that happened. I didn't I was jumbling or whatever. Like I was just going on. It's my first video of the day. I'm a bit slow waking up. And then after all of that, I realized I was muted. So, hi guys.
South Tyrol.
My name's Connor. If you're new, I like to learn. Original link to the video, top of the description. Below that, link to the Discord. Click on it, sends you right over there. We'd love to have you. Phones away. See Napoleon there, guys? There he is. Phones away. Even if you're watching on one, toss it. There you go.
With its many German South Tyrol, with its many German speakers and its capital of Bozen, is a part of Italy and has been for over 100 years. South Tyrol, with its many German speakers and its capital of Bozen, is a part of Italy and has been for over 100 years. This is despite it being previously owned by both Bavaria and later Austria. It was annexed by Italy after its victory in the First World War and has remained a part of it ever since, with the exception of 2 years during the Second World War. Some Austrian politicians, as well as those living there, have pushed for the region to be returned to Austria, but this of course has never happened. So why not? Why is South Tyrol a part of Italy, and why did Italy want it and its German speakers in the first place? So, like most questions surrounding modern European borders, this one can be traced back to Napoleon. As of the late 18th century, all of Tyrol belonged to Austria. It picked fights with France and later Napoleon's France, both of which they lost. Napoleon's winning streak saw him remake much of Europe in France's revolutionary image, which included giving Tyrol to Bavaria in 1805. This was because Bavaria was a part of the...
Has there ever been a point in history where Austria or the Austrian Empire was stronger than France?
Which included giving Tyrol to Bavaria's winning streak saw him remake much of Europe in France's revolutionary image, which included giving Tyrol to Bavaria in 1805. This was because Bavaria was a part of the Confederation of the Rhine, a French puppet state, and friends get rewards. This continued until Napoleon found a new pet project, building in Italy. In the same year that he gave Bavaria Tyrol, he oversaw the creation of the Kingdom of Italy. The question was, who was going to rule it? After a rigorous process, Napoleon narrowed the candidate pool down to himself.
Murat?
This, along with all the other trademark Napoleon stuff going on, was too much for his rivals, and so, war. Napoleon won, and so opted to split Tyrol and give it south to Italy, because what was Bavaria going to do about it? As you'll know, Napoleon was eventually hit with a crippling bout of defeat, and in 1814 Austria regained all of this. It remained a part of Austria and later Austria-Hungary until the First World War. Italy joined the First World War on the side of the Entente, and 3 years and 12 Assonzos later, Austria-Hungary collapsed. And in the following peace conference, Italy pushed for all of this, of which it got this, which included prying South Tyrol away from Austria. Now, the region was overwhelmingly populated by German speakers and held little in common with Italy. So why did Italy want it? Well, the Entente had pushed for new borders based on nationality, and American President Woodrow Wilson had pushed for each region that swapped hands to be given a referendum. The problem was that the people in South Tyrol didn't want to join Italy, and a referendum...
He's always seen, like by many historians, US, or people I watch, as like the worst president ever. I don't know enough about him to really say that. And poor Slovenia, if you look at the European map today, the Mediterranean, they have like a little border, but Italy kind of like scooped most of it. Anyways.
For new borders based on nationality, and American President Woodrow Wilson had pushed for each region that swapped hands to be given a referendum. The problem was that the people in South Tyrol didn't want to join Italy, and a referendum would have never succeeded. As such, better idea. Just don't have one and tell the people who live there to deal with it. So why would Italy want such a much better idea? Just don't have one and tell the people...
Fast forward if you want, guys. I always love reading these. The Rome Daily. South Tyrol joins Italy. Italy welcomes new countrymen. Today marks a jubilant day for the Kingdom of Italy, for South Tyrol, also known as Northeast Lombardy, has joined. The region is home to 250,000 individuals, all of whom, without exception, are Italians. The overwhelming number of our fellow oppressed countrymen in the region mean that there's no need to hold a referendum on whether or not it wishes to join Italy. The region has been occupied by our troops since the conclusion of the Great War. Since arriving, they've been quick to replace all of the German road signs with Italian ones and to shoot anyone caught eating strudel. There's also apparently people there who speak a language called Latin. Now, I know what you're thinking, cool Romans, but also no. But alas, no, sorry. They're just like dudes who speak something that sounds almost Italian, but if you say that to them, they'll get mad. Anyway, they live here now, which is pretty neat. New layout editor joins team, isn't doing great. Okay. The Rome Daily would like to welcome its brand new layout editor, Dave, to the paper. It's Dave's job to make sure this paper is easy for you to understand with all the relevant information placed appropriately. As you can see, Dave is not a natural. Yes, it's his first day, but let's be rational. It's also going to be his last. Polish capture Vilnius. Yesterday, Polish forces entered the city of Vilnius. Again, this was after they promised not to, but then there was a coup in Lithuania, so I guess they changed their minds because they're back again. As such, Vilnius will now be a part of Poland, giving it that cool paint splodge shape. The Lithuanian government will now have to meet in Kaunas, which has a pretty sick castle, so that's something.
People who live there to deal with it. So why would Italy want such a region? Natural borders. Whilst the area didn't have many
Hills,
Italians,
yo.
it did have lots of mountains, meaning that the north of the country would be much more defensible in the future. South Tyrol formally joined Italy in 1920 and had much more autonomy than most other regions of the country. This remained the case in
Yeah, guys, I hear from a lot of you that like Italy is a very different place, like northern, like north of Rome and like south of Rome. Like it's much more like Germany or like upper class or something up here, something like that. Is that true, or am I being stupid?
until a certain very nationalist man came to power in Italy. The new Italian government wanted to squash the region's autonomy and make it fully Italian. This took a while, and before it could be done, a decade later, Germany annexed Austria and was now in contact with Italy, whose borders now contained a number of Germans. So did Germany want the territory for itself? No. Keeping Italy close was seen as much more important than regaining South Tyrol. As such, Germany and Italy came to an agreement.
I have to read these things, okay, guys? South Tyrol option agreement. We, in both the German and Italian governments, have to an agreement on what to do with all the Germans living in South Tyrol. Since both nations like to collect their people and put them into neat little boxes and don't want any spillover, those who live in the region will be given two options. Option 1, leave for Germany, where we promise we won't conscript you for the largest war in human history. Sure. Option 2, stay in Italy, where your autonomy will be stripped and your kids will be forced to speak Italian. The food will be better, providing old Mussolini gets over the whole rice obsession. It's weird, dude. Pick soon. Best wishes. Il Duce and Der Führer.
The people who lived there could move to gaining South Tyrol. As such, Germany and
Are those actual what their signatures look?
Italy came to an agreement. The people who lived there could move to Germany or stay in Italy and lose their autonomy, with many Germans opting to leave. This agreement became null and void when Italy decided that the Axis wasn't for them anymore, and Germany promptly occupied the region. This occupation would last until Germany's defeat, when the region was returned to Italy. And after the war, much to Austria and Britain's annoyance, it was decided that Italy would retain all of South Tyrol.
I blanked out.
This agreement became null and void when Italy decided that the Axis wasn't for them anymore, and Germany promptly occupied the region. This occupation would last until Germany's defeat, when the region was returned to Italy. And after the war, much to Austria and Britain's annoyance, it was decided that Italy would retain all of South Tyrol. It was given this on the condition that its people be given even greater autonomy, with Austria as its guarantor.
They don't have... I always forget it. Corsica is part of France?
Unsurprisingly, Austria had wanted the territory returned.
No, it's not.
Britain had wanted it divided up like this, but the Soviet Union bluntly refused to grant any new territories to Austria, since the USSR considered the Austrian people partly responsible for the war, and after this, it was simply settled. Some later agreements increased the region's autonomy again, and to this day, South Tyrol remains a part of Italy despite its majority German-speaking populace. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and a special thanks to my patron.
Russia's just still mad at Austria for not backing them in the Crimean War. No, I don't know. I'm just trying to show off some knowledge to look smart. Awesome video as always from History Matters. Thank you for making, as always, History Matters. And I love you guys. Chin up if you're not doing well. You'll be good soon. Don't worry. Emotions are fickle, my friend. See you guys next time. Bye.